12-year-old Marcus Kane thought he was just chasing his runaway baseball into Pine Ridge Forest when he heard the whimpering. The sound cut through the afternoon silence like a rusty knife, desperate and raw. Most kids would have turned around and sprinted home to tell their parents about the scary noise in the woods. But Marcus? Well, Marcus had always been the type to poke sleeping bears with sticks. "Hello," he called out, his voice cracking slightly. Great. Even his vocal cords were betraying him today. "Anyone there?" The whimpering stopped, then started again, softer this time. More. "Careful." Marcus pushed through a tangle of blackberry bushes, ignoring the thorns that grabbed at his jacket like desperate fingers. The sound was coming from a small clearing ahead, where dappled sunlight filtered through the canopy and danced across moss-covered rocks. And there was, at first glance, it looked like a medium-sized dog, maybe a German Shepherd mix. Dark fur, pointed ears about the right size. But something was off. The proportions weren't quite right. The legs were too long, the head slightly too narrow, and those eyes were definitely not dog eyes, they were silver. Not gray, not blue-gray, but actual metallic silver, like polished chrome. And they were looking right at him with an intelligence that made his skin crawl in the best possible way. "Oh, wow," Marcus whispered, dropping to his knees. "Hey there, boy, or girl, or whatever you are." The creature tensed, ready to bolt. One of its hind legs was trapped under a fallen branch, and Marcus could see dark stains in the fur that probably weren't mud. "Easy, easy," he said, using the same tone his mom used when she found spiders in the bathtub. "I'm not going to hurt you." "Well, I might accidentally hurt you, because I'm basically a walking disaster, but I will try not to." The creature tilted its head, and Marcus swore he saw something like amusement flicker in those impossible eyes that he approached slowly, hands extended. "That gotta hurt, huh?" "Don't worry, I have got experience with being stuck in embarrassing situations. Last week I got my head caught in the stair railing trying to spy on my sister's boyfriend. Had to call the fire department. Mom still brings it up at dinner." The creature's tail moved slightly. Not quite a wag, but not aggressive either. Marcus reached the trapped leg and examined the branch. It was thick but rotted, probably fell during last month's storm. The creature's leg wasn't broken, just pinned and scraped up pretty good. "Okay, on 3, I'm gonna lift this thing. You pull your leg out, deal." He positioned his hands under the branch. 1, 2, 3. Marcus heaved with all his 12-year-old might, which admittedly wasn't much. The branch lifted about 6 inches, just enough for the creature to yank its leg free. They both tumbled backward, Marcus landing on his butt and the creature scrambling to its feet. For a moment, they stared at each other across the clearing. "You are welcome," Marcus said, brushing dirt off his jeans. The creature limped forward and, to Marcus's absolute amazement, pressed its nose against his hand. The touch sent a weird tingle up his arm, like static electricity, but warmer. "Whoa, did you understand me?" Those silver eyes blinked once. Deliberately. "Holy crap," Marcus breathed. "You did, didn't you? You actually understood me." The creature moved closer, and Marcus noticed more details that screamed, "Not from around here." Its fur had an almost metallic sheen in certain light. Its paws were slightly too large, with claws that looked more like they belonged on a bird of prey than a mammal. And when it opened its mouth to pant, he caught a glimpse of teeth that were definitely not designed for kibble and table scraps. "So, what are you exactly? Some kind of government experiment? Alien? Really weird dog." The creature sat down and gave him a look that clearly said, "Do I look like a dog to you, kid? Right?" Stupid question. Marcus sat cross-legged in front of his new friend. "I'm Marcus, by the way. Marcus Kane. And you are?" The creature tilted its head again, then did something that made Marcus's brain skip like a scratched CD. It opened its mouth and made a sound that was definitely not barking, growling, or whining. It was more like music, a series of tones that rose and fell in complex patterns, almost like a language. "I'm going to call you Harmony," Marcus said, "because that sounded way too much like singing for my comfort level." Harmony seemed to consider this, then made a shorter version of the musical sound. Marcus chose to interpret this as agreement. "Cool. So, Harmony, I'm guessing you're not from around here. Like, really not from around here. As in, possibly not from this planet." Another deliberate blink. And I'm guessing you were hurt and probably lost and need help. A soft whine that somehow conveyed volumes. Marcus stood up and brushed off his jeans. Well then, new friend, looks like you're coming home with me. Fair warning though, my family is completely insane. My dad builds model trains in the basement and talks to them like they are real. My mom collects vintage salt shakers and names them. My sister Jenny thinks she's going to be the next Taylor Swift despite having the singing voice of a dying walrus. And my little brother Tommy once ate an entire tube of toothpaste because he thought it was mint-flavored frosting. Harmony stood as well, still favoring the injured leg, but moving with surprising grace. Oh, and we have a cat named Professor Whiskers who thinks he runs the house. He's going to hate you on principle. Cats are like that. They started walking back through the forest, Marcus leading the way while Harmony followed a few steps behind. The late afternoon sun slanted through the trees, creating long shadows that seemed to dance and shift with every breeze. You know what's funny? Marcus said, talking partly to Harmony and partly to himself. I was having the worst day ever before I found you. Failed my math test, got detention for talking back to Mrs. Henderson, and struck out in gym class. Again. But now I'm walking through the woods with what's probably an alien, and somehow that makes everything else seem pretty stupid. Harmony made a soft sound that might have been agreement or comfort. I mean, who else can say they rescued an alien? That's got to be worth at least 50 cool points. Maybe even enough to offset the fact that I still sleep with a nightlight. They reached the edge of the forest, where Marcus's neighborhood sprawled out in neat rows of suburban houses. His own house sat at the end of Maple Street, a two-story colonial with blue shutters and a front yard that his dad was constantly battling to keep green. Okay, here's the plan, Marcus said, crouching down to Harmony's level. We're going to sneak you up to my room through the back door. Mom's usually watching her soap operas around this time, and Dad won't be home from work for another hour. Jenny's at cheerleading practice, and Tommy's probably setting something on fire in the backyard. Standard Tuesday afternoon chaos. Harmony listened intently, those silver eyes never leaving Marcus's face. Once we get you upstairs, I can clean up your leg and figure out what you eat. Do aliens eat dog food? Regular food? Small household pets? Please tell me it's not the last one, because Professor Whiskers may be a jerk, but he's our jerk. They made their way across the backyard, staying low and moving from tree to bush to the small shed where Marcus's dad kept his lawn equipment. So far, so good. No sign of his family. And the neighborhood was quiet except for the distant sound of Mrs. Patterson's lawnmower and some kid practicing violin with all the skill of a dying goose. Marcus eased open the back door and peered inside. The kitchen was empty, but he could hear the dramatic music of Days of Our Lives drifting from the living room. Perfect. Coast is clear, he whispered. Just follow me and try not to knock anything over. Mom has this weird sixth sense about when things get moved in her kitchen. They crept through the kitchen, past the dining room, and up the stairs. Marcus's room was at the end of the hall, a typical 12-year-old boy's disaster zone of unmade bed, scattered clothes, comic books, video games, and enough action figures to stock a small toy store. Home sweet home, Marcus said, closing the door behind them. Sorry about the mess. I was going to clean it last weekend, but then I discovered this new game and, well, priorities. Harmony sniffed around the room, investigating everything with curious intensity. She seemed particularly interested in Marcus's collection of science fiction novels and his poster of the solar system. Yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with space stuff, Marcus admitted. Always wondered if there was life out there. Guess I don't have to wonder anymore. He grabbed a clean towel from his laundry pile and filled a bowl with water from the bathroom sink. Harmony had settled on the rug beside his bed, still favoring the injured leg. Let me take a look at that, Marcus said, kneeling beside her. I took a first aid class at summer camp last year. Admittedly, I spent most of it trying to see down Jessica Morrison's shirt, but I did learn a few things. Harmony allowed him to examine the leg, which was scraped and bruised, but not seriously damaged. Marcus cleaned it gently with the damp towel, amazed at how patient and trusting this strange creature was being. You know, he said, working carefully around a particularly nasty scrape. For something that's probably from another planet, You are being pretty cool about all this. If some weird alien kid found me in the woods, I'd probably be freaking out right about now. Harmony made that musical sound again, softer this time, almost like a purr, if purrs could carry complex, emotional undertones. Are you trying to tell me something? Like, actually communicate? Because that would be absolutely incredible and also kind of terrifying. Those silver eyes fixed on his face with startling intensity. Then Harmony did something that made Marcus drop the towel and scramble backward so fast he hit his head on the bed frame. She spoke. Not the musical tones from before, but actual words. In English, with a voice that sounded like wind chimes mixed with distant thunder. "Thank you," Marcus came. Marcus stared at her, mouth hanging open like a broken drawbridge. You can talk. You can actually talk. In English. Human English. Yes, Harmony said, and even that simple word carried harmonics that made the hair on his arms stand up. "I have been learning from you. Your language patterns, your vocal structures. It is difficult, but possible." "Holy crap," Marcus whispered. This is incredible. You are actually talking to me. An alien is sitting in my bedroom, talking to me. I am not alien," Harmony said, tilting her head in that now familiar gesture. "You are alien. I am visitor. Right, I guess perspective is everything." Marcus sat back on his heels, trying to process what was happening. "So, where are you from exactly? Mars? Another solar system? A parallel dimension where dogs evolved opposable thumbs?" "Far," Harmony said simply. "Very far. Beyond your word, stars that you see. Another galaxy? Galaxy. Yes, that word." Harmony seemed to test the word, rolling it around like a piece of hard candy. "Many galaxies. Many jumps through space-time." Marcus felt his brain trying to wrap itself around the concept and failing miserably. Space-time jumps? Like faster than light travel? Wormholes? That kind of thing. Similar, but different. Hard to explain in your limited language. "Hey now," Marcus said, grinning despite the mind-blowing nature of the situation. "English may be weird, but it's not that limited. We have got like 20 different words for money and at least 50 ways to insult someone's mother." Harmony made a sound that might have been laughter. "Your species is amusing." "Yeah, we get that a lot." "Well, I assume we would if we met more aliens." "Visitors. Whatever." Marcus settled into a more comfortable position. "So what brings you to our little corner of the universe? Sightseeing? Scientific research? Accidentally took a wrong turn at Alpha Centauri?" Harmony's expression grew more serious, and those silver eyes dimmed slightly. "Running. Hiding. My pack was destroyed. Hunted. I am last." The words hit Marcus like a punch to the gut. Oh no. I'm sorry. That really sucks." "Sucks. Yes. Good word for terrible situation." Marcus reached out hesitantly and touched Harmony's head. Her fur was warm and softer than it looked, with that strange metallic sheen that caught the light like silk threads. "Well, you are safe now," he said. "I mean, as safe as you can be in a suburban house with my crazy family. But we are good people. Weird but good. And I won't let anyone hurt you." Harmony leaned into his touch, and Marcus felt that strange tingling sensation again. This time, it was accompanied by something else, something that felt almost like emotions that weren't his own. Gratitude, relief, and underneath it all, a bone-deep weariness that spoke of travels across impossible distances and losses too great to fully comprehend. "The ones who hunt me," Harmony said quietly, "they will come. They always come. I should not stay. Should not bring danger to your pack." "My pack? Oh, you mean my family." Marcus scratched behind her ears, marveling at how normal this conversation felt despite its completely abnormal content. "Look, I don't know who these hunter guys are, but they haven't met the Kane family yet. We may be suburban and mostly harmless, but we protect our own. And you're one of us now, whether you like it or not. You do not understand. They are powerful, dangerous. They have weapons that can tear apart planets. Ships that move like shadows between stars." "Sounds scary," Marcus admitted. "But you know what? Last month, My mom faced down 3 members of the PDA who wanted to cancel the school bake sale. She won, with nothing but righteous indignation and a really good chocolate chip cookie recipe. Never underestimate suburban moms when they are protecting something they care about. Harmony stared at him for a long moment, then made that sound that might have been laughter again. Your species is very strange. Yeah, but in a good way. Mostly. Marcus glanced at his alarm clock. 5:30. His dad would be home soon, and then it would be time for dinner and family chaos. Speaking of my species, I should probably prepare you for meeting the rest of my pack. They're going to have questions. Lots of questions. And my mom's going to want to feed you. She feeds everything that comes into this house, including the mailman. Feed? I do not require your food. My species can process energy from other sources. Like what? Sunlight? Cosmic radiation? The pure life force of small animals. Many sources. But your food might be interesting to try. Marcus grinned. Oh, you're going to love Mom's cooking. She makes these amazing pot roasts that could probably sustain life on Mars. Which, given your background, might actually be relevant. The sound of a car door slamming in the driveway made them both freeze. That's Dad, Marcus whispered. Okay, here's what we are going to do. I'm going to go downstairs and prepare them. Give them the basics. Try not to let anyone faint or call the government. Think you can stay hidden up here for like 10 minutes? Yes. But Marcus, what if they fear me? What if they want me to leave? Marcus looked into those incredible silver eyes and felt something shift in his chest. Maybe it was just 12-year-old bravado. Or maybe it was something deeper, something that had to do with the strange connection he felt with this creature from beyond the stars. Then they will have to go through me first, he said simply. And trust me, I can be really, really annoying when I want to be. Harmony's expression softened, and she touched his hand with her nose. The tingling sensation was stronger this time, and with it came something that felt like a promise. Thank you, Marcus Kane. You are a good pack. The best pack, Marcus said, standing up and straightening his shoulders. Now wish me luck. I'm about to go convince my family that we need to adopt an alien. As he headed for the door, Marcus couldn't help but grin. 20 minutes ago, his biggest worry was facing his parents about another failed math test. Now he was about to introduce them to a visitor from another galaxy who was being hunted by cosmic bad guys with planet-destroying weapons. Somehow, the math test seemed a lot less important now. He paused at the door and looked back at Harmony, who was watching him with those impossible eyes. Hey, Harmony, whatever happens next, I'm glad I found you. Or you found me. However that works. Mutual finding, Harmony said, and Marcus could swear he heard a smile in her voice. Very good thing. Marcus headed downstairs to face his family, leaving his new friend hidden in his room. Little did he know that in the vast darkness between the stars, something with cold eyes and terrible purpose had just detected a familiar energy signature on a small blue planet in an unremarkable solar system. The hunt was about to begin. Marcus found his entire family gathered in the kitchen when he came downstairs, which was either perfect timing or a complete disaster waiting to happen. His dad, Robert Kane, was loosening his tie and rifling through the mail. His mom, Linda, was pulling a casserole out of the oven that smelled like heaven wrapped in cheese. His sister Jenny was texting furiously while simultaneously complaining about cheerleading practice. And his little brother Tommy was building what appeared to be a fort out of cereal boxes. Professor Whiskers, their orange tabby cat, sat on the counter watching everything with the judgmental expression of a furry dictator. Hey, family, Marcus said, trying to sound casual. Hypothetically speaking, how would you guys feel about having house guests for a while? Depends, his dad said without looking up. Is this hypothetical house guest wanted by the police, pregnant, or carrying any communicable diseases? Note all three. Probably. His mom turned around, spatula in hand. Marcus Daniel Kane, what did you do now? Why does everyone always assume I did something? Maybe I'm just being hospitable. Maybe I'm embracing the family tradition of helping those in need. Jenny snorted without looking up from her phone. The only tradition you embrace is finding new ways to embarrass the entire family. That's not true. Tommy piped up from his cereal fort. Remember when he got his head stuck in the stair railing? That was more stupid than embarrassing. Thanks for the support, Tommy, really feeling the brotherly love here. Linda set down her spatula and fixed Marcus with that mom look that could penetrate titanium armor. Marcus, what's going on? This was it. The moment of truth. Marcus took a deep breath and dove in head first, which was pretty much his approach to everything in life. Okay, so I was in the woods looking for my baseball, right? And I heard this noise like something was hurt. So I went to investigate because that's what good people do. And I found this dog. Sort of. It was trapped under a branch and injured, so I helped it. And now it's upstairs in my room. His parents exchanged one of those married couple looks that contained entire conversations. A stray dog? His mom asked carefully. Well, that's where it gets complicated. Oh boy, his dad muttered. Here we go. See, the thing is, it's not exactly a normal dog. It's more like, well, it talks. The kitchen went dead silent, except for the humming of the refrigerator and the distant sound of Mrs. Patterson's eternally running lawn mower. Tommy's head popped up from his cereal fort. Cool. Can it do tricks? Jenny finally looked up from her phone. Marcus, have you been sniffing Dad's model airplane glue again? I'm serious. It talks. In English. And it's really smart. Like scary smart. Robert sat down heavily at the kitchen table. Son, I think we need to have a talk about the difference between imagination and reality. Dad, I know how this sounds, but I'm not making it up. And there's more. Marcus steeled himself for the next part. It's not from here. Like, really not from here. Like, from another galaxy, not from here. Linda slowly set down her oven mitts. Marcus, honey, are you feeling okay? Do you have a fever? Have you been watching too much of that science fiction channel again? Mom, I know this sounds insane, but you have to trust me. There's an alien in my bedroom, and it needs our help. Professor Whiskers chose that moment to let out a long, disapproving yowl, as if commenting on the general state of human intelligence in the household. An alien, his dad repeated flatly. Yes. In your bedroom. Yes. That talks. Yes. And looks like a dog. Sort of. Jenny rolled her eyes, so hard Marcus was surprised they didn't fall out of her head. This is even dumber than the time you convinced Tommy that chocolate milk came from brown cows. That was educational. And this is completely different. Marcus, his mom said gently, Sweetheart, I think you might have found an injured animal and your imagination is just running away with you. It happens. Remember when you were 8 and you thought that raccoon in the garage was a tiny bear? This is nothing like the raccoon incident. Look, I know you don't believe me, but what if I'm right? What if there really is an alien upstairs who needs our help? Wouldn't you want to know? His parents looked at each other again. His mom shrugged slightly. Fine, his dad said, standing up. Let's go meet your alien friend. But when it turns out to be a regular dog with some kind of throat condition, you are grounded for a week for giving your mother gray hairs. Deal, Marcus said, though his stomach was doing gymnastics routines. But when it turns out I'm right, I want a formal apology and an increase in my allowance. The entire Kane family trooped upstairs, with Professor Whiskers bringing up the rear like a judgmental parade marshal. Marcus's heart was pounding so hard he was sure everyone could hear it. He knocked softly on his bedroom door. Harmony? It's me. I've got my family with me. The ones I told you about. The insane pack. Came the musical voice from inside. The Marcus's parents froze on the staircase. That sounded like. His mom whispered. Yeah, Marcus said, grinning despite his nerves. That's Harmony. And yeah, she called you insane, but in a loving way. Probably. He opened the door and stepped aside. Harmony was sitting in the middle of his room, perfectly composed, those silver eyes reflecting the hallway light like mirrors. She had cleaned herself up somehow, and her dark fur gleamed with that subtle metallic sheen that definitely wasn't normal. Holy mother of. His dad breathed. Language, Robert, his mom said automatically, then caught herself. Did that dog just call us insane? I am not dog. Harmony said, her voice carrying those impossible harmonics that made the air itself seem to vibrate. EOM Kitvor? What do you would call scout? Explorer. I greet the pack of Marcus Kane. Jenny's phone clattered to the floor. Tommy's mouth fell open so wide a small bird could have nested in it. His parents stood frozen like department store mannequins. Professor Whiskers, ever the pragmatist, walked into the room and began sniffing Harmony with professional interest. Your feline is not afraid, Harmony observed. Wise creature. Cats understand that not all changes bring danger. Professor Whiskers has always been pretty chill, Marcus said, relief flooding through him. So, family, meet Harmony. Harmony, meet the cane pack. Linda was the first to recover. She stepped forward slowly, her maternal instincts apparently overriding her shock. Are you hurt, dear? Marcus said you were injured. Minor injuries only. Your offspring provided adequate medical attention. Offspring, Jenny muttered. I'm someone's offspring to an alien. You are pack sister to Marcus Kane. This makes you important, Harmony said, turning those silver eyes on Jenny. He speaks of you with great affection, despite claiming you sing like dying walrus. Marcus, Jenny shrieked, but she was fighting back a smile. Hey, I also said you were determined and hardworking. Marcus protested. His dad finally found his voice. This is actually happening. There's an alien in my son's bedroom, and we're having a family meeting about it. If it helps, Marcus said she's really polite, and she doesn't eat small household pets. I do not eat anything you would recognize as food, Harmony confirmed. I process energy from other sources. Tommy raised his hand like he was in school. Can you shoot lasers from your eyes? No, small pack brother. But I can do this. Harmony closed her eyes and began to glow. Not brightly, just a soft, silvery radiance that seemed to come from beneath her fur. The glow pulsed gently, like a slow heartbeat made of light. Whoa, Tommy breathed. That's the coolest thing ever. It is communication method. How my people show emotional states to pack mates across distances. The glow faded, and Harmony opened her eyes. I apologize for the display. Sometimes your emotions are contagious. Linda sat down on Marcus's bed, looking slightly dazed. So you are really from another planet? Another galaxy? Yes, very far from here. My people were explorers, peacekeepers. We traveled between worlds, helping where we could. Robert asked gently to Harmony's head drooped slightly. My pack was destroyed, hunted by those who fear what they do not understand. I am, last of my kind. The room fell silent. Even Tommy seemed to grasp the weight of what Harmony had just shared. Well, Linda said firmly, you are not alone anymore. You are part of this family now, and we take care of our own. Mom, Marcus said, his voice thick with emotion, that's exactly what I told her. Of course it is, sweetie. You are a Kane. We don't abandon people who need help, even if they are not technically people. Especially if they're not technically people, Robert added. Makes life more interesting. Professor Whiskers chose that moment to jump onto the bed and curl up against Harmony's side, purring loudly. See, Marcus said, even Professor Whiskers approves, and he hates everyone. Your feline has excellent judgment, Harmony said, and Marcus could swear she was smiling. But I must warn you all, those who hunt my kind will eventually find me. I bring danger to your pack. What kind of danger? Robert asked, his voice taking on a protective edge that Marcus had rarely heard. Ships that move through space-time like shadows. Weapons that can crack planets. Beings who see kindness as weakness and mercy as foolishness. Jenny had been quiet through most of this exchange, but now she spoke up. So basically, we are about to be in our own science fiction movie. Great. Do we at least get cool outfits and dramatic music? Jenny, her mother warned. What? I'm just saying if we're going to face down cosmic bad guys, I want to look good doing it. Harmony made that sound that might have been laughter. Your pack sister has warrior spirit. This is good. See, Jenny said smugly. The alien thinks I'm tough. The alien has excellent taste. Marcus said that a sudden chill filled the room, and Harmony's head snapped up, her silver eyes wide with alarm. They come, she whispered. Who comes? Robert asked. The hunters. They have found my trail. Harmony stood up, her body tense with fear and readiness. I must go. Must lead them away from your pack. Like hell you will, Linda said, and everyone turned to stare at her. She blushed slightly. Sorry for the language, but nobody threatens my family. Not even cosmic bad guys. Through the window, Marcus could see lights in the sky that definitely weren't airplanes or helicopters. They moved too smoothly, too purposefully, and they were getting closer. Okay, Robert said, falling into what Marcus recognized as his crisis management mode. Everyone stay calm. Harmony, how dangerous are these hunters exactly? Very dangerous. But they follow rules. Laws of their kind. They will not simply destroy everything. They will try it, negotiate first. What kind of negotiations? Marcus asked, though he wasn't sure he wanted to know the answer. They will demand I surrender myself. In exchange, they will spare your world. And if we say no, Harmony's silver eyes met his. Then they will take me anyway, and your pack will be removed as witnesses. The lights outside were definitely getting closer, and Marcus could hear a sound like distant thunder that seemed to come from everywhere at once. Well, Tommy said cheerfully, this is way cooler than anything that happens on TV. Tommy, his mother said, go to your room and hide under your bed. No way. This is the best day ever. The thunder sound grew louder, and Professor Whiskers started hissing at the window. Marcus looked around at his family, his crazy, wonderful, completely unprepared family, and felt something he'd never experienced before. Not fear, exactly, but a fierce protectiveness that seemed to burn in his chest like a small sun. Harmony, he said quietly, remember what I told you about never underestimating suburban families? Yes. Marcus grinned, and for the first time since this whole adventure started, he felt completely confident about what came next. Time for a demonstration. The lights outside began to descend, and the Kane family prepared to meet their first extraterrestrial visitors. Little did the hunters know they were about to discover something that had made humanity the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The absolutely terrifying lengths they would go to protect someone they considered family. In the distance, Mrs. Patterson's lawnmower finally stopped running. Even she apparently sensed that something big was about to happen on Maple Street. The real adventure was just beginning.